Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Raw and Real podcast. My partner is listening to some music, and I don't want copyright infringement put on me, so I am upstairs with my head out my door on our spare bedroom, and it oversees the roof and my backyard. So hopefully you could see that well. I guess I'll watch that later and hope for the best. My neighbor's outside, so hopefully she doesn't hear me talking, because that could get real awkward. Welcome to my adventures. I should probably get a studio, but it's fine. These are raw, they're real, they're impromptu. Happy Thursday. I want to tell you guys about chronic pain, because I had this realization this week that I have had chronic pain my whole life. And that sounds super weird for anyone who doesn't have chronic pain. Like, how do you not know you have chronic pain? And I guess what I mean is that, ooh, there's a wasp nest. So, hopefully this goes okay. Okay, anyways, so chronic pain. Chronic pain, how do you not know you have chronic pain? My therapist helped me figure this out today. I developed my brain developed with chronic pain. So I was diagnosed at like 18 months old, and had been having pain for a while, at least since I broke my wrist, like 2 months, maybe more than that. And I was only like a tiny bit over a year old, and so my brain developed with this concept of my body is always in pain. So my brain like dissociated from the body in order to function. And so it developed in a way where like brain was separate from body. And so this whole time I've been talking about and actively trying to I've been saying I've been trying to reintegrate my body and my body and my mind, sure. My mind, oh gosh, my mind and my body, I've been trying to reintegrate them, bring them back together, and I have not been successful because I've been trying to reintegrate them, to integrate again. And one cannot integrate again if one has not already been integrated in the past. And I told my mom today that it's like a person who's been, the difference here is like, if a person has been paralyzed since birth, from like, let's say the waist down, they've been paralyzed their entire life, and they're, in their 20s or early 30s, and they are learning how to walk for the first time. They're learning how to walk at the age of, 20s, 30s, whatever it is. And that is entirely a different process for that person than a person who has lived their whole life walking, has a stroke, doesn't walk for 6 months, or they're unable to walk for 6 months, and then are relearning how to walk after their stroke 6 months later. Those are two entirely different things, because the body of the person with the stroke, that person's body is going to remember what walking is. At some point, that person's body is going to go, oh yeah, I remember this. And it's going to be slow and it's going to take a long time, but their body is going to be like, oh yeah, I remember this. Where a person who's been paralyzed their whole life and is learning to walk for the first time at, let's say, age 30, that person's body doesn't know what walking is. They're literally learning that skill at ground zero, like they, it's literally like going to school and learning a new subject, like going to, I use the example of, like, that would be like me learning how to do brick and mortar. I didn't even know the right terminology. That would be like me learning how to lay brick. Brick and mortar is different than like philosophy, right? Because philosophy is really all in your head. It's all conceptual. And Now, I have several philosophies about mind and body, but those are conceptual things that I've, thought about. But the difference here is that the laying brick is something that you physically do with your hands. Your arms have to be strong in order to do that. Your body has to be strong in order to do that. Or it has to work to get there. And I think that it is just so important to understand the difference between, I have to learn a new skill versus I need to remember how to do this. Like, even if I'm trying to pull a memory from when I was, 2 or 3, my body could still remember how to do that. The body is amazing. But the difference is that my body's never done this. My body and my mind have never been one and the same. They've always been separate. And really, I didn't even notice that they were separate until my partner was like, you always talk about your body as though it's another person, another entity. Why is that? And I was like, I guess you're right. And what I've been learning is that today I was talking with my therapist, and we talked about how it might be that throughout my life, my body has either been in pain or had emotions, and not really this two at the same time for survival. And that's good, that's fine. Where that becomes a problem is when you're in chronic pain, and pain is all the time. Emotions never happen. They manifest. Emotions go into and manifest in the body. So for example, this has happened a few times when I've been upset with someone, or we've been having a quote unquote argument. My body is fine. The argument ends, we're good, and my knees blow up. And I'm like, what the heck? Why do my knees hurt so bad? Because I was feeling like I wasn't being supported, hence the argument, and whatever it is, it wasn't really an argument. But because I was in this emotional place, my body couldn't feel anything. My body couldn't feel the pain because I was in emotion space. So as soon as I was done being in emotion space, my body was like, hi, my turn. Chronic pain. So I think that when I've previously thought about or talked about chronic pain, it's been like the degree of pain. And that's not the case, because this week, my arms have been horrendous. I've had worse, but this has been pretty bad. This has been the worst that it's been in a while. My hands, you can see, are really swollen. My wrists are really swollen. I don't really know if there's a good angle. Those have hurt. But my elbow is also my elbow has weird crap on it because I've been outside. But so my elbow, don't mind the red mark, I was just leaning on something, is swollen. You can see that on this side by my glasses rim, right there. And it's hard when you're holding the phone with one hand and pointing at something with the other. I can't extend this arm all the way. This is as straight as it goes, and that's not straight. That is not 180 degrees. And so here's the thing, though, is that elbow has not hurt at all week. And it's pretty inflamed. It's not worked, but it hasn't necessarily hurt. But that's part of chronic pain, is that, I don't feel those little ones anymore. I just don't. Maybe I did once upon a time, but I don't now. And that's, I think, the difference between pain and chronic pain. I don't really have, I definitely don't have how to fix this. But those are some of my insights to myself today, and I wanted to share them with you. I just think it is so important that, my next step is going to be learning how to lay brick. And I don't mean that literally. I mean that in, I need to learn how to integrate into my body. Not to reintegrate into my body, but to integrate into my body. And I, honestly, don't even know where to start. There's some different things I'm going to look into in the coming week or two. But yeah, I just wanted to share my journey with you guys. And here's to new adventures, I suppose. So, I hope you guys have a really good week. Do some reflecting. It's a really beautiful time to do that. I think the month of August is a great time to do some reflecting. September's really not my favorite month ever. And August just presents a really, like, a closure and a new beginning kind of all at the same time. And I just think it's a really good time for us to just take a couple days while you can still be outside, while you still have time to be outside, and just feel the breeze. Look at the trees, realize that your backyard is a forest. Didn't know it was a forest, but here we are looking at a forest. Yeah, just be with yourself for a little while this week. See you guys later.